Please join me in welcoming to the stage my senator, the senior senator from Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, thank you. I'll sit back there. So thank you very much. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the very kind introduction. I am delighted now to be your senior senator. Who knew? I also want to thank Jean. I want to thank the board. I want to thank the entire staff of LCV, not just for inviting me to join you today, but also for your incredible support. So let me just say thank you one more time for all you did. I'm so grateful. And I also want to say, you all know in this room how important it is that the newest member of the Senate is one of our country's leading champions for the environment, Ed Markey. Let's make that happen. Powerfully important. Now, I feel a very special fellowship with the League of Conservation Voters because you believe, like I do, that it takes strength and courage and some political muscle to accomplish what we believe in, to preserve and protect the environment. We believe some things are worth fighting for, and we're willing to fight for them. That's what we believe. Yes. You know and I know that we are on the cusp of a climate crisis, a point of no return that will threaten our health, our environment, and our economy. We also know that we are on the cusp of innovations in clean energy and energy efficiency that have the possibility of transforming energy production and consumption. In other words, we are at a moment of great danger and of great opportunity, a moment where we have to make choices about whether we will go boldly into the future, investing in innovation, establishing serious and smart regulations, and committing to address the climate crisis, or whether we will continue to subsidize fossil fuels of the past and ignore the risks to our future. The choices before us demand strength and courage and political muscle, not only because doing something new is hard, but because when it comes to environmental and energy issues in this country, powerful, entrenched, deep pockets of corporations are lined up to fight any change to the status quo. These powerful corporations defend policies that poison our air and foul our water with little regard for the well-being of future generations. These powerful interests work hard to tilt the playing field so that energy entrepreneurs and innovators have a hard time getting a foothold in the market. And these powerful interests often have a stranglehold on our political system, blocking not only bold change, but even conservative, market-based reforms. In other words, when it comes to environmental and energy policy, the system is rigged. It's rigged against our families, and it's rigged against our future. We've got to do better than that. Let me just give you two examples. In 2012, the 5 biggest oil companies, ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, BP, and ConocoPhillips, made combined profits of $118 billion, $118 billion. All those profits, and they also sucked down billions of dollars in tax subsidies from the American people. So at a time now when sequester is cutting back on Head Start for our children and Meals on Wheels for our seniors, these companies have rigged the system to protect their honeypot. Over 10 years, oil and gas companies will receive $40 billion in taxpayer subsidies. And if Paul Ryan and the Republicans have their way, these companies will get even bigger breaks on their taxes. Just think for a minute about what $40 billion could mean for our future. A big investment in research to figure out the problem of energy storage and to develop better batteries. Strong support for wind and solar installation. Certainty and predictability for investors and entrepreneurs who have a big idea and want to build a new business. A tax policy that protects powerful industries of the past is a tax policy that's rigged against entrepreneurs, against small businesses, and against innovators of the future. Such a policy trades courage for complacency and innovation for stagnation. And here's the point to underline. We can invest in research and develop new markets without spending new money if we just shift our priorities from old fossil energy to clean new energy. We can do this. And it's not just taxes. Along with their allies in Congress, these powerful interests spent last summer fighting to prohibit the United States military from staying on the cutting edge of energy innovation. That means they aren't going green, but it also means they're not innovating as a fighting force. Consider this: 80% of the convoys in Afghanistan are supporting fuel deliveries. There were 1,100 attacks on these convoys in 2010 alone. Many in the military want to go green because it's a chance to make military operations safer and in the long run cheaper. But big oil wants to protect its market, even at the cost of weakening our military. We need a military for the 21st century, and that means letting them innovate when it comes to energy needs. Whether on taxes or national security, when it comes to environmental and energy policy, it will take strength and courage to stand up to the armies of lobbyists that will stop at nothing to protect the status quo. Yes, it will be hard, but I believe we can do it. And here are 3 areas we can target. Invest in innovation, establish serious and smart regulations, and commit to addressing the climate crisis. All 3. So, you're just going to have to forgive a teacher for a minute. We got to talk about every single one of them. Let's start with the investment in innovation. We need to end subsidies for fossil fuels, period. Let me say that again, end subsidies for fossil fuels. Don't make clean energy compete against subsidized dirty energy, whether it's the Keystone Pipeline or subsidies for oil companies. We should not continue to double down on the energy sources of the past. That's a mistake. And with the billions we save from ending oil subsidies, we can invest in the research and production of clean, renewable technology. That's where we need to spend our money, launching the energy sources of the future. That's where we want to spend money. When we invest in clean energy, we increase the supply and we lower its cost. But every market is about supply and demand, and we can also work on the demand side. Purchasing can be a catalyst for innovation. So, for example, when the government or the military buys green, it assures startups and investors that there will be a ready market for green energy technology and products. Same for private industry. Incentives to buy green are another way to create a robust market for green energy and to move us away from fossil fuels. Yes, investments cost money, and it will take time for entrepreneurs to bring their work to scale. But in the long run, we can help make sure the benefits of innovation are worth the short-term costs. Now, our second task is to advocate for a regulatory system that encourages innovation and protects the environment. I understand there are a lot of people who think regulation brings higher cost, and let's be clear, in many cases they're right. But when designed smartly, regulation can help spur innovation and protect the environment and save consumers. Take the catalytic converter. When the Clean Air Act was passed in 1970, as a country, we didn't have technology in place to meet the stringent standards it required. But over time, we built it. Yeah, there were delays and modifications to the regulations, but the push and pull of regulations and compliance helped us get new innovations, and in the end, we ended up with technology that significantly reduced pollution. Or think about the regulations that require greater transparency and disclosure. Studies have shown that a simple disclosure about how much energy a family is using, the smiley face or the frowny face, can be used to nudge families toward lower energy consumption. Smart regulations are not an enemy of markets or of economic growth. Smart regulations give people information so they can make choices on their own to improve both their pocketbooks and their lives. Smart regulations give people confidence that their products aren't filled with chemicals that are going to kill them. Smart regulations create economic opportunities for tourism, for travel, and even for industrial growth by preserving resources for future generations to enjoy. Today, forces are lined up to strip existing regulations and prevent all future regulations. We must not let them. Let us be clear. We need the EPA to issue existing source regulations for power plants. We need that. And we need to make sure that fracking meets the same clean water regulations that other industries meet. Yep. We need to improve disclosure and information about the use of chemicals. We need that. And we need the United States Senate to confirm Gina McCarthy as head of the Environmental Protection Association. We need that. Okay, 2 points down, third one to go. And then you can start eating. Finally, we need to commit ourselves to addressing climate change. Climate change is not a reversible problem. We can't snap our fingers and refreeze the ice caps or bring the snows back to Kilimanjaro. I know the conversation in DC has been about an all-of-the-above approach to our energy needs. Well, I think we need an all-of-the-above approach to address climate change. We need it, and we need it now. We can press the EPA to issue strong regulations, and we must fight to protect the EPA's authority to regulate greenhouse gases. We should. We must do all we can to pass legislation to address the rising carbon in our atmosphere. We must take preventive measures in our cities and on our coasts, like rebuilding seawalls and protecting buffering wetlands. And we should rededicate ourselves to acting in cooperation with other countries around the world. So there it is. Investment in innovation, serious and smart regulation, and an all-of-the-above approach to climate change. That is our path forward. kid myself about this. We are up against armies of lobbyists, and we will not win all of the fights ahead. But keep in mind, Goliath won battle after battle until David found his slingshot. We're going to pick up our slingshots. That's right. This is a fight for our future. We want to invest in the future, invest in a future that can create jobs, strengthen our national security, and at the same time, save our planet. The future calls. We can't look back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.